Credentials don't close. Connection does, which is why you have to become emotionally magnetic. That's from today's real finfluencer, an advisor turned PhD who knows a lot about video marketing. Welcome, Dr. Joshua Wilson. This is the first episode where I've gotten to use doctor. I'm so excited. So you are a former advisor, turned PhD, turned founder of NeuBeFi. I am so excited to have you here and talk video strategy.
Thank you for having me, Laura. I'm so excited to be with you today.
Well, you are using video in a lot of ways. And let's start with that quote I stole from you about credentials don't close, connection does. Connection in video is what makes you memorable. Have you found that to be true?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that, when you speak in video, it allows people to see other dynamics of you, other layers of you that they can't just get in a written word. And it allows you to let, if you're willing, to let more of your personality and your humanity show through. It allows you to tell stories. And frankly, a lot of folks want to watch a video or want to kind of listen to something. They want to glance back and forth. So it just gives you a much fuller experience for your audience.
Speaking of connection, you sent me a link to YouTube to this video where you are sharing a bit of your story. I saw that this video had been up for something like 5 years and had 1,000 views. And I have to tell you, we're dropping the link in the description for the show. Everyone needs to watch the full video. We want to give you a little taste first.
My journey, it was going to involve some pain, but I had a plan. And my plan was to choose my pain, the pain of discipline and the pain of commitment, because I will not just go back to Alabama with the pain of regret.
And you can see why I felt connected to you, Joshua, once I heard this story. Tell me how you're using it.
I've used this as a teaching tool for advisors. This is not something that I wanted to put it out there. I didn't do this in order to tell my story or make it about me. This is something I did because when I'm teaching things, advisors are like, okay, well, how, and show me, and that sort of thing. So I use this as a teaching tool. So when you speak in story, you activate parts of the brain that are responsible for emotional alignment, not analysis. One of the biggest mistakes advisors make is they want to get us into our prefrontal cortex and get us into this rational decision-making mode. Don't do that. So I didn't create this to showcase my story. I created it to demonstrate something far more important, and that's how the brain actually decides who to trust. So when I show this to advisors, I don't ask, what did you think about my story? I ask, what do you know about me? And what's wild is they start listing all these traits, values, qualities that I never said. And that's the whole point of the video. We trust our own conclusions more than someone else's claims.
A question I get from a lot of advisors is when they see something like this, when they're inspired to do something like this, is I have no experience with an Alabama landfill. I did not work 75 hours in a hayfield as a teen. I don't have that kind of story. What do you say to them?
There are things inside of you. And so if you focus on what you don't have, all you're doing is missing what you do have. You do have stories inside of you. They are human stories. And that's the thing, is everyone can relate to something. The reason that people relate to the story is because it's a human story. No one's ever come up to me and said, my dad owned a junkyard in front of a landfill also. No one's ever said that. But people will come up to me and tell me, like I had a guy that I spoke at a seminar when I was an advisor, and I told some of my story. And it was the first time that I had told this portion of my story. And I was really nervous about it because I'm thinking, who is going to relate to a guy like me, this poor farm kid from Alabama? He comes up to me and he's signed with me. He was me in this story. I mean, you are reminding me of my grandfather. My dad was this. We preserve these things. And I'm like, I can't believe that this is so relatable to him. But it was the values that came through and him telling me he found himself in my story. And on the surface, it doesn't sound why. Because there was human emotion involved and he could grab onto those emotions that he had. So if all you're doing is sharing facts, and that's what I help advisors do, is let's go beyond these facts. Let's dig into the story and let's tell this in an actual narrative.
Well, if you're intrigued about this connection idea that Josh was talking about, you ought to check out NeuBeFi. And it is a fairly recent launch with a really cool offering for advisors and fintechs. What caught my eye on your website, your homepage, you've got 2 videos. Tell me a little bit about why you decided to drop these on the homepage and how they help people who are checking you out for the first time begin to learn about what you do.
And you'll notice that these videos are polished, right? I actually was in a studio, did these in a studio, because your homepage and your website needs to be a bit more polished. But the point is for you to be able to see something about me and have a spark, right? Either I appeal to you or I don't, but I'm giving you a decision to make. The worst thing you can have is indecision, is be unremarkable. You want to spark something in someone. And so many advisors are so worried about everyone loving them that they're unremarkable. And so what the video does on these websites is allows you to see who I am. You're going to get a feeling from me. You're going to see something about the way I speak, about the way that my inflection, that the way that my body moves. All these things are things that you're subconsciously processing. And your conscious brain is lazy, but your subconscious is very active. And so by putting these videos on there, it gives you a lot more information than I could give you in a written text.
Statistically, I have seen that you get as 60,000 times the amount of information in watching a couple of seconds of video than you do in reading a couple of seconds of text. And when you think about it in terms of if someone hits your website and they have a chance to hit a play button or read some copy, there is an evolution towards taking the easy way out and hitting the play button. So you're not only helping people get to know you, but you're giving them a much broader, much deeper experience than they would have just reading the copy alone.
Most people want to build a relationship with you before. And it's really hard to build a relationship over text. It can be done, but it's a much slower process and people just don't have the attention span. So oftentimes videos are a gateway to things that are deeper. Maybe something written, maybe your white papers, that sort of thing. But a lot of people will never even get that far. So it's not a highlight reel. It's a first impression filter. It's designed to make the right prospects lean in and the wrong ones quietly opt out.
Well, speaking about building relationships, you and I built a asynchronous relationship on LinkedIn by showing up in each other's feeds.
You know, what I'm trying to do with video is give people an opportunity to just get to know me and get to feel me and say, is this my kind of guy? I literally had a new lead coming yesterday, and saw one of your videos that led me to an interview that you did. And I know you could help me. I went through your stuff. He just binge watched my stuff and decided I'm the guy for him. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. It's just the hook. It's just an emotional hook. It's not about, every video is not trying to sell people. You got to get away from the whole idea of the purpose is to impress or is to sell. It's just to connect.
Well, let's get into that. You had a lead who'd watched a bunch of videos and came to you kind of predisposed to work with you already. And that was yesterday.
Yeah.
How do you gauge ROI with the videos you've created?
Well, I tell people with videos, if you're still measuring ROI and just likes and leads, then you're asking the wrong question, because ROI isn't just about attention. It's about alignment. It's hard Laura, to gauge ROI. That's something that I'm still figuring out in my practice, frankly. But the fact that when people contact me, they always mention a video, that's probably my ROI, is people always watch videos when they reach out.
Well, if you want to learn more about becoming emotionally magnetic from Dr. Joshua Wilson, definitely check out NeuBeFi. The link will be in the show notes. And remember, if Joshua can do it, you can do it too. And if you need a little help building authority and growing your practice with video, that's what we do at Idea Decanter.